Hi, my name's Sarah. I work for the NHS and for a team called Startwell. Startwell is a programme that supports early year settings in Birmingham and their families on healthy eating and physical activity. On our Facebook page, we put a question out to everyone to ask them what topics they would like to hear about, and one of those was weaning. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time now giving you the basics about weaning. So weaning is the introduction of solid foods to a baby, and the recommendations is that starts when they are around 6 months. So up until that point, they'll be having their breast milk or their formula milk, but by the time the baby gets to roughly 6 months of age, there aren't enough nutrients in the milk that they need, so you need to introduce some food into their diet so they can have a complete nutritionally balanced diet. So the guide is roughly around 6 months, and that is because all babies grow and develop at different times. Just like they will walk at different times, crawl at different times, talk at different times. It's also the same with weaning. So what you need to do is look out for the signs that your baby is ready to wean. And there are 3 clear signs that your baby is ready to accept foods and for you to start that weaning process. And that is that the baby can sit upright and hold its head and neck up. So it's got that support in its back. It can sit upright and it can hold its head. The other, or second sign, is that it has the hand and eye coordination to pick up a piece of food and put it to its mouth. So it's got that coordination where it can grip the food, it can put it to its mouth. So that's the second sign. And then the third sign is where the baby can actually swallow food, so it can move the food around its mouth and swallow it. If the baby isn't ready for that third sign, it will spit the food out without swallowing it. So those 3 signs are a good way of knowing if your baby is ready to start weaning. There are different methods to weaning that people use. You might have heard the terms baby-led weaning or your more traditional style of weaning. So your traditional style of weaning would be where you, as the parent, get the textures of the food into different stages, and you progress those textures. So you might start on mashed food and then move to small chopped up food and then bigger chopped up food by the time you get to 12 months. And you would do spoon feeding, although you can offer some finger food as well. Whereas baby-led weaning is where you give whole food to the baby and they completely self-feed. So you wouldn't put a spoon in their mouth. You would put the food on a plate or on a tray, and the baby would feed themselves. There isn't a right or wrong way, there are benefits of both, and a lot of people will do a combination of the two. So it's where they'll have some food where they would feed the baby, and then some food where it's baby-led and the baby feeds themselves. Either method that you do, it is really good to let the baby do some feeding themselves, and the best way to do that is to have finger foods. So foods that they can easily pick up with their hand and put in their mouth. We do need to be careful about choking, so you need to make sure that you chop feed appropriately, and chopping them into fingers is the best way to avoid choking. If you cut food into discs, those round circles are more dangerous and could get stuck in our throat. It's really good if you get a good high chair if you want to start weaning. I think that's quite important. If you've got somewhere where the baby can be safe, where there's some straps for the baby, and there's a good tray where you can put the food and you can use it to clear away and try and contain the mess a little bit. Weaning will be messy, but that is all part of the fun. It's the way that the children explore and learn, and that's okay, and we just have to kind of accept that. I wanted to highlight a really good website for you. So Start for Life is a website that has got lots and lots of information about weaning on. It's got loads of really great recipes. It talks through progressing through the textures if you want to use the traditional weaning style. It talks through foods that you need to avoid. So up until your baby is 12 months, you need to avoid added salt, added sugar, honey, and cow's milk as a drink. And it will go into all that in a lot more detail. So go check out the Start for Life website. It's very, very good. Lastly, I just wanted to mention vitamins. So your babies will also need vitamin supplements to make sure they've got a good balance of all the vitamins that they need. So in Birmingham, we're very lucky. We've got a scheme where if you are registered, if your baby is registered with a Birmingham GP, you can get those vitamins for free. So you can access those from your health centre or your local children's centre, and that is up until your child's 4th birthday. So try and get hold of those, because that's really important as well. Hope you found this information useful, and as I said, go to the Start for Life website for lots more information on weaning.